Now with that, we're going to go on to item number 3, public comments for items not on the agenda. Individuals be allowed 3 minutes. It is the council policy to refer matters raised in this forum to staff for investigation and or action where appropriate. The Brown Act prohibits the council from discussing or acting upon any matter not agendized. I would ask at this time, for those that wish to speak, if you could be so kind as to raise your virtual hand, and then I'm going to turn it over to the city clerk so she can begin to call on folks.
Jim Evangelist. I'm trying to get you unmuted, Jim.
Okay, is that good?
Yep, whenever you're ready.
All right, thank you. Good evening, council members. I'm speaking to the council tonight, hoping that I could convince them to reevaluate the purchase of El Crystal School. I believe that this is an opportunity that should not be passed up. It's a logical extension for the city park to absorb that property. And I believe that from this perspective is quite important. And that is that we anticipate the city population growing in the thousands through the development of the TCP, the Google area, and elsewhere. And I think that as part of an urban planning perspective and vision, it's incumbent upon this council to enlarge the space that people would be able to utilize for outdoor use and other extracurricular activity. And I think that this really gives an opportunity to the city, because we're losing open space. We're not going to be able to make new parks. We're not going to be able to have buildings already in place that we can just modify, retrofit to accomplish the needs of a growing population. This is really something that it would be a shame for the council not to really stretch themselves to figure out a way to come up with the funding. We're going to have a lot of development impact fees coming forward, apparently, because of the anticipated developments. That would be able to give us the fees to either pay back loans sooner than they would normally have been paid back as development rolls out. So I don't think that it's going to be a huge risk for the city council to move forward to buy this piece of property that can be utilized, especially when they're going to be building the community center, which could take up to 5 years, where it could act as an alternative for the summer programs for the children and other uses. So thank you very much for listening, and thank you. That's it.
Thank you very much for your comments. Next speaker, please.
Next speaker is Stephen Seymour or Sandra Perez Vargas.
Hello, Melissa.
Hello.
So, you know what? I was gonna chime in. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was gonna chime in about El Crystal, and I'm not sure that I could really lay it out any better than Jimmy did. Other than to say that it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for this council, this city, the city manager to consider having a very unbiased conversation with the school board about how we can take out Crystal, since the school has already decided that the school's not needed, since the school district has, and how we could take it and move it into City Park so that it complements and benefits the greater community. So I'm not going to go any further. I think there are opportunities there, and I would really encourage you all to promote and support them. The second part, I'd like to talk about cannabis. I saw the article about the car dealership that's going to go in. And, you know, I think we really need to look at any opportunities where we can make revenue for the city. but I want to also talk to you about my trip today to LIT in Pacifica. Sandra, I think on the last meeting, mentioned that we spend, thousands of dollars when we each year for dispensaries. But I went to LIT today, and I talked to the leadership there, and they said that one dispensary returned more than $500,000 to the city of Pacifica. And so we're talking about a car dealership that's going to occupy 10 times the land that one dispensary could. And hopefully it might return $1 million. So I would hope that the greater city council would see the benefits in supporting something that's been legal in this state for more than 25 years. Lastly, there are two things I'd like to talk about. Pride. We're coming up on Pride, June 1st. What is it? Yeah, Pride Month, June 1st. And we're really looking forward to seeing the flag flown again. Safe and sane fireworks. I'm happy that the city is going to be looking at ways that we can try to dial back some of the illegals this year. And I really support any and all of those efforts. Thank you very much. El Crystal, cannabis, Pride, safe and sane fireworks. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your
Sandra
comments.
wants to speak now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for your comments, and then we will have our next speaker. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Hi, this is Sandra Perez Vargas. Good evening, everyone. I'm really excited about this rare opportunity with El Crystal. We're getting a very rare second bite at this apple. I couldn't believe it when I heard that sale did not go through. I was visiting the other day. I go there every once in a while, and you can clearly see how it's a natural extension of the park, and it should be used widely in a way that it benefits our community. And I mean, the skateboard park would be amazing. There's just so much that could be done there. And also, Pride Month is coming up in June, and as a reminder, last year was the first year that the Pride flag was flown in front of City Hall, which was just really amazing. And I want to thank David Pine, Supervisor David Pine, for his proclamation for Pride Month, and for Chris Grom's advocacy for that. Unfortunately, last year, the flag went up. Residents had asked for it, but there was nothing that came from the mayor. So I'm happy to see that this year the mayor will be supporting that. And on June 1st, Tuesday, 6 p.m., I want to again invite anybody who's interested to join at the steps of City Hall. Bring your own pride flags, bring your pets with their pride flags. We had an amazing time last year just standing in front of City Hall. Cars were, people were waving, honking, driving by. There was a lot of excitement. And with COVID, any chance to do something fun and let groups of people or individuals know that they're so welcome in our community. We need to embrace everybody, and the pride flag shows that we are headed in that direction, that we're becoming a more enlightened and kind city. So bravo to anybody who went on ahead and encouraged that the pride flag be flying. And also, I would love to congratulate Sedaine on his accomplishments. Bravo, what a wonderful young man we have in our community.
Thank you, Sedaine.
Thank you, Sedaine. Thank you so much.
And just as a reminder, that topic is on the agenda as far as later on the agenda.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
No, just because this for items not on the agenda, but that will be talked about later tonight. Thank you for your comments. May we have our next speaker, please?
Next speaker is Bo Smith.
Hello, this is Bo. Can you hear me?
Yes, whenever you're ready.
Wonderful. I think I'm just going to read a letter that I just sent to the council. So I'm asking that you find a way to finance the El Crystal property to expand or complement the city park, or otherwise keep the property for future development or more public green space. I'm for the idea of using money from the community foundation for a down payment and financing further from future revenues coming to the city. And I just would like to ask, please don't let this property go to be commercially developed. There's no telling what could happen in the future as far as the property being turned over to an unscrupulous developer with no regard for the regreening and the beauty of San Bruno. There's I think there must be around 100 trees on that property that could be lost if they're not protected. And so, if we're to rebuild and promote a beautiful green environment, we can't continually be building right next to our public parks. And, this opportunity to purchase the property may never come again to the city. And if we lose more green space that we need so desperately, it's going to take a toll on our future. So I hope that we can think of the next generation, and I hope we don't lose this opportunity to put our money where our mouth is for our part in the reversal of global warming, which I take seriously, and I think we all should. So I think it would be congruent with what we're trying to do. We're regreening our cityscapes. We're trying to make our city more beautiful. I really appreciate what the gentleman said earlier about we're growing. And, we're going to be having thousands of people come, and we're all going to be wanting to have space outdoors. And this is a perfect piece of property for that. And we can do it if we want to do it. And I think to miss this opportunity would just be very regrettable. I appreciate also what Stephen said about, having a cannabis shop that takes up maybe an eighth of or even a 16th of the square footage that a car dealership would be bringing in, with maybe a revenue of $1 million for the city that year, where we could have a dispensary bringing in $500,000 a year. Can you imagine getting the traffic also from the airport? We could totally do that. Where I could see people wanting to get off the plane and come have some recreational cannabis right here in San Bruno, in our beautiful regreened green San Bruno. So please consider moving forward on getting cannabis available here to the residents of San Bruno. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Are there any other folks in the audience wishing to speak this evening?
One hand just raised, just one moment. Anne V.
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, good evening. Thank you for calling on me. So I had sent an email earlier today. This is more personal in nature, but it affects my whole neighborhood. Basically, I live behind the Highlands Church for 5 years now, and it's been getting progressively more dangerous with cars speeding. And it's not just myself that's impacted by this. We have many children on the street. We have an elderly man with dementia that has wandered into the streets. We have a disabled gentleman, mentally handicapped, that lives on the corner that wanders out from time to time. And it's been getting increasingly worse. I can't tell you how many times myself, my neighbors have almost been hit trying to back out of our driveway. It's just unfortunately a situation where we can't let our kids in the front yard. And it's getting very bad. So my request is that the city consider possibly putting speed bumps in this area. It will help a great many people. I've talked to my neighbors. They are all on board with this. I'm not sure what the process is to get that started. I am more than willing to spearhead that, but I just think as a community up here, it's getting really dangerous. So it's very precarious, and I don't want to see something very bad happen here. So that's it. Thank you so much for your time. God bless you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there any other speakers at this time? Okay, seeing none, let's move on to the announcements and presentations.
Mayor, someone just raised their hand. I don't know if
Oh, okay, yes, please. And this will be our last speaker, and then we will move on to announcements and presentations, please.
The speaker is C. Quinn. I believe Claudia, but I could be wrong.
Hi, thanks very much for hearing me. I would like to encourage you to look at the El Crystal site and try to work out a way to keep it in the city. Maybe with a loan from the foundation or some way possibly to lease the property. If it's leased, the school board would be able to use the revenue for teachers' salaries. We were just on the school board meeting and the teachers are desperately wanting a fair salary. So many community needs could be met if San Bruno has this property. And a skate park, a soccer field, library, childcare, there's just endless uses for that property. So we urge you to work together with the school board and the community foundation to try to make this a possibility. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity and we hope you can take advantage of it. So thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments.